that may be the road they go if they don't. But, like, I need to see Tony. Like, I want to see more from Tony in camp, during mini camp coming up. Like, what does it look like? Because I don't think that he's some bum that, like, needs to get off the team, but I don't have a whole lot of reason to be super optimistic about what he's going to provide yet.
I'm not going to lie, Easton. You're very kind in how you respond to things. You're very polished. But Lim is nuts for this.
Got our podcast thinking you should watch it. If you driving, man, it's good for you to listen. No, we keep it real. No, we spit it raw. Sports dialogue. No, it's good if I'm involved. No, we're not the news. We just cool dude with nobody to impress. Just talking our shit. Call it pressman coverage. Pressman coverage.
In the Pressman Coverage, a podcast dedicated to you, the fan. Guys, I'm turned up.
Yeah, let's go.
I told you guys that we had more heat planned and we may have the hottest. It is time for us to have a conversation with somebody that we have been waiting on, and we've got him in the chair today. But before we do anything, we got to introduce the crew. Captain Cody Moore, talk to the people.
What's going on, fellas? You know, in the era of bald is beautiful in our building, this guest right here, he has a great head of hair. And I am shocked that he is even allowed in the building with such a great head of hair.
Yeah.
Man, might kick
How
him
are you
out.
doing, Randy?
Hey, man. It's good. I think he actually beat me now. He's got a great hairline.
Well, he doesn't have to paint his on, though.
What?
There was a competition, and you were in the competition for great hair?
Yeah.
Who put you on the ballot? Because it was definitely none of us.
That's hate going on. But, man, it is a special day today, man. We have a guy that, man, we truly respect in the space. He's killing it, man. He's killing it, building it from ground up. We'll get some of his backstory today. Man, he has not took any days off.
Goodness.
No days off.
Not at all.
Literally just building his brand brick by brick. I remember seeing him for the first time being signed to this organization. I guess I'll call it that.
That shall remain nameless.
It was interesting. It was interesting because it was like, man, we was used to seeing certain faces and things, and man, over time he has just been killing it from inside information to just covering the team, the Titans, the team that we love. He is a fan as well, man. Ladies and gentlemen, it's an honor to have him here. We got Easton Freeze in the building.
Let's go. Let's go.
Oh, no. Yes, sir. Just way more than I deserve. I liked it so much I didn't like it.
It's like, I'm borderline uncomfortable.
Y'all gassing me up way too much. Thank you for having me, y'all. You said you've been waiting on me. I've been waiting to do this show. My buddies Zach and Stoney have done this show, and they've come back ranting and raving about how much fun they had.
Yeah.
And I told you I felt like Squidward, like looking out at Patrick and SpongeBob, like, running around, having fun, catching jellyfish. And I'm like, I mean, please invite me on the show. So I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, man.
Dude,
Thank you for joining.
Well, look, man, I want to dive into a few things, but the first thing I want to talk about is I feel like you have lived the life of several different movie stars.
Man.
And the first one, I know it's kind of crazy. The first one I want to focus on is
like flame outs?
Yeah, that's not what this is.
Okay.
This is without the basketball, Zac Efron.
Okay.
Here we go. We're in high
The
school by
Wildcats.
day, singing by night. The man of many voices, not faces.
Wow.
Man, talk to me about just kind of your upbringing and how you ended up covering the Tennessee Titans.
Sure. Born and raised here in Nashville, in the Brentwood area, and I went
Very rich.
You can't hide money.
listen, went to Brentwood High School, public school. Was not a BA across the street. Okay, so there are levels to this. There are levels to this. But I had an absolutely blessed childhood and family, and my interest was music and performing arts and choir and theater, and I always loved sports. My dad was a Titans season ticket holder since they moved to town, and so I was, a huge Titans fan and loved kind of my friend group was not that I disliked the people in choir and stuff, but my friend group was like a real eclectic mix of people that were into sports, into music, into a bunch of different stuff, and so I felt like I was pretty well rounded. But my interest beyond high school was music, and I went to music school at Belmont. And kind of realized that music is for me, but music school was definitely not for me. I was not nearly talented as a lot of the people that I met there, which is a rare phenomenon, actually, a very common phenomenon when you go to music school, because everybody there is like, I guess it's kind of like sports, where you show up and you were the best at your school or the best in your town, and then you get there and you realize like, there's so many more talented people than me. This is not good for my prospects. And so, but I did it for 2 years, and I stopped doing it when COVID ruined the whole world, and I got a taste of what online Belmont was for about 6 weeks there at the end of that spring semester, and respectfully decided that was not worth $50,000. So I was like, I'm going to pass on that until things get back to normal. Let me finish my gen eds at Columbia State, do them online, like just do some work, stay at home, like be smart with this money. And I did that in the fall, and then the world was still a mess the following spring. And at that point I was just like, you know, I had started to like fill out the paperwork to change my major right around when COVID hit to journalism to get into sports. And I just started to kind of do the thing. And we can talk about how I kind of broke into the beat and into the media space in Nashville. But one of the things that I did that fall was go through and make a list of all of the people in sports media who were at the top of their game, who I looked up to and really enjoyed listening to, and thought like I'd love to do what they're doing one day. And then just kind of did some research on how they get to where they are. And I realized that about a third of them went to J school. About a third of them went to school for something entirely unrelated and have, you know, accounting degrees or marketing degrees or whatever. And then the other third just went and started doing it. And they went right out of high school, or they dropped out of college or whatever. And so I decided to kind of like give that a try and see if it would work. And I don't know, I feel like it's worked out fine. So here I am.
Nice. I mean, it's been interesting in watching your journey and just seeing where you've kind of made your pivot and in your career, and then just hitting the ground running with just the work. Tell us about that period of you joining like A to Z, picking them as a partner to come and help build that brand and
Sure.
add your expertise into it, while also simultaneously building your credibility and just climbing. Can you tell us about that?
Well, I won't bore everybody with the long form life story, but let me speed run the career to how I got to A to Z. So I was working a job in warehouse management because a buddy of mine at church owned a company where he needed somebody to do that, and I'm somebody that, we were talking about this before the show, I'm like very meticulous and detailed, and I enjoy that. And most importantly to me at the time it was a job where I could put my headphones in for 8 hours a day and just grind radio shows, grind podcasts, and sit and think about my own opinions on things and kind of work on that craft while I was doing the job that I was doing. And so I was happy to do that. Did that for a couple of years, and that kind of tickled my OCD brain. So I was cool doing that. And while I was doing that, I started to reach out to Mike Herndon, who at the time was with Zach and some other guys doing the Broadway sports thing, building that up right around that time. It was a new digital brand in town. And so I reached out to Mike and kind of formed a relationship with him on Twitter and was like, can I do anything for the site for free? Like, just, can I, just make stuff and use it as a platform? And so they let me start writing some things. And then I launched a podcast that, 7 people listened to that fall.
That hot reads?
The hot read is what it turned into. I called it the Titans 10 at the time.
Okay.
It was like a short form daily podcast, 10 minutes on whatever happened that day for people that like weren't keeping up with the day in, day out seasonal things. And it was a good way to just like bank some reps behind a microphone and
smart.
With a background in performance. Like I well spoken, don't have an issue with doing any of that, but getting good at talking about sports, like that's a muscle you have to train up for sure. It's one thing to like love sports and watch sports, another thing to talk about it and be interesting talking about it. And so I did that. And then James Foster joined me we turned it into the Hot Read and made it into a draft pod that spring.
Nice. And
then he got hired at A to Z, and then I brought on JT Runke, who now works with me at A to Z and is one of my best friends. Him and I did the Hot Read for about a year and got to do a bunch of cool stuff. We took the show to London to cover the game over there against the Ravens. We went to the Combine a couple years. We got to go to the Senior Bowl and kind of get our foot in the door and build relationships and all of these things. And then there was an opening at A to Z. Jack Gentry, who had been with them for a while doing Titan stuff, got a job in a different sector and moved on to that. And it was Sam Phelan and Buck at the time doing the kind of multitasking, multiple jobs thing where Buck is with A to Z and does prime time and stuff, but from like a writing beat standpoint, they needed somebody to kind of fill in more of that day-to-day minutia and writing and stuff. And so I knew Austin. I knew Sam real well. Sam was a buddy of mine from being on the beat together, and Jack stepped away kind of at a critical time of the year. It was like in August, and so they were gearing up for the year, and they were scrambling, and they had no other option but to hire me, and they took what they got. You know what I mean? So it was.
Essentially, it was a good bet.
They had to scramble. They scrambled and landed on me, which I don't know if that's a compliment. It's probably not a compliment, but it's where I'm at now. So it's worked out. It's worked out. And now I just, I'm on the beat and get to go to a bunch of different cool events and build national relationships and build relationships in the building and, try my best to be as plugged in from an insider standpoint and do all these things. And so that's what I'm doing now. It's just writing and talking and driving back and forth to the facility. That's my life.
I want to ask, so I think that's very cool of how you carry yourself as a journalist and upholding your integrity while you're covering the team and being a trustworthy source. And I would probably say, other than TD, he's one of my favorite, but man, you really give us a feel that you took up that space of like the middle ground of feeling like you're not too big to like let us know what's going on with the team, but you're also can cover the team from an objective standpoint and give us that inside information that we're yearning for as Titans fans. I'm curious of the path you took to build your credentials and everything that went into that. So can you speak on that a little bit?
Sure, and that's extremely kind of you. It's gratifying to hear because that's the way that I approach my job. I'm certainly not perfect at this, but like trying to be as big a man of the people as I can, because I feel like that's the point that some people lose sight of is that like the whole reason I'm here is to convey to people that care about the team what's going on and trying to do that in as approachable a way as possible is the way that I try to carry myself. And whenever I am not, people don't hesitate to smack me upside the head and tell me to stop. The whole credentialing thing, because I'm a college dropout. I didn't go to journalism school. When I first kind of ventured into doing this, treating it like a job, not making any money. I didn't make any money for a long time doing this. I was doing other things. But
now you're rich again.
Yeah.
so much money in this. Anyone if you want to get rich quick scheme, go into local journalism.
In a small market.
That's right. In the smallest market you can find. That's right. But I didn't know anybody in this media market when I started. I just made connections through being present on Twitter and DMing people and then having a podcast and not being afraid to reach out via DM and be like, hey, would you mind giving me 10 minutes of your time? We'll keep it super quick. And there's a lot of very generous people in this market and in this industry. And so, they're happy to do that and just building connections. And I got to the point where I had some kind of a relationship with the majority of the people on the beat, which is, I found a pretty effective way to then go to Titans PR and say, hey, ask anybody in there if they're fine with me coming in. They'll say yes. And I'm treating this like a job, and I need you to let me in. And then I kind of just pestered them with emails until they finally said yes to like 2 training camp events. And then I showed up and acted. It was the bestest boy on my best behavior. And,
you didn't get yelled at by Brownlee?
Tried to make myself a value to the room, and felt like I did. I guess I did that well enough for them to say, okay, you can start coming to games, and then eventually you get on with a company like A to Z, and then it's a lot easier to kind of throw that weight around. But honestly, just pestering them until they said yes. Nice. But more importantly, the lesson here is not just to annoy Titans PR forever. If you want to come to they'll kill me if they hear that. The lesson here is to take it very seriously and be very good at what you're doing. And if you are good at what you do and are honest with yourself, that's the biggest advice I give people when they ask me. And again, I'm 26. I've been doing this for 5 years. Like, what do I know? But when people do ask me for how I got into it and what my advice is, the biggest piece of advice I can give is you being extremely honest with yourself and having 3 buckets: things that you know you are good at, things that you honestly think you can be good at, and things that you honestly think you can't. And too many people are not well-rounded enough for where the industry is today. Like if you don't have technical skills, on-camera skills, behind-the-camera skills, social media skills, writing skills, and relationship skills, which sounds like a lot. If you can't do those things, you're going to be limited. It's not that you're not going to find success somewhere, but you're going to be limited in what you can do. And so being as well-rounded as you can, but, and this might sound contradictory, but again, knowing what you're good at and leaning into what you're good at. Like me, for example, and if my boss hears this, he'll laugh because he knows this is true. I am not somebody that would ever survive doing what Nick Suss does at the Tennessean, working on a newspaper deadline. Like I don't do stories on a deadline well, even a little bit. I have to take my time. I'm too much of a perfectionist. And I'm constantly late to run stuff because I got to get it the way that I got to be happy with it. So I know that about myself. I can't do that.
For sure.
There are plenty of examples of people, and not to like, I'm not going to call anybody out because I'm honestly not thinking of anyone in particular, but people that aren't the best on camera, but are desperate to be on camera. If you don't lean into what you're good at, you're going to just continue to waffle on camera. So like identifying the things that you're good at now, doing that until your fingers bleed and until you are so tired you can't stand up. And then identifying the things that you think you honestly can be good at with hard work, and then working really hard to do those things. And when I say working really hard, like getting the reps in, right? You know, it's a lot like what songwriters will tell you at music school where I went. They'd be like, you have to write 500 songs before you write your first good song, which is an extremely daunting thing to hear. But like, if you want to be a good podcaster, you need to do a full season's worth of a podcast before you do anything that's half decent. You need to, if you're going to be a writer, you need to write an article every day for 5 months before you have a decent voice, an established voice. That's just the way that it works. So like being willing to do it and not make any money doing it and have nobody read it, and identifying the things you're good at. That's really all it is.
Wow, man.
So
Go ahead.
talk to me about like work-life balance.
What?
Work-life balance.
What's that?
So, because I'm assuming that somebody in your position, like your phone's always got to be on. I mean, I've seen you check your phone 12 times since you've been sitting here.
It's a problem.
So how do you?
It's really unhealthy. Like,
Yeah.
It's not. Don't get into this industry. It's not good. It's not good for you. I don't recommend it. Your wife will hate you. You'll be on your deathbed one day wishing you hadn't checked Twitter as much as you had. Like that's the reality.
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, I am somebody, and again, another thing my boss would tell you is I'm somebody that tries really hard. I'm not always perfect at this, but tries really hard to maintain boundaries in that way. The whole phone thing is the one you really can't super get around. You can choose to just not be plugged into the ether, but then you miss stuff. So I try really hard to not be on it as much, but I would be totally lying through my teeth if I told you my wife doesn't at least once a week be like, get off your phone. I'm like, fair. It's fair. Honestly,
I'll
fair.
do it.
Honestly fair, yes. And it's often more than once a week. So I don't have an answer to that question. As for the rest of it, like, the thing about this job, it's like I'm hamming it up a little bit. It's not as bad as you think. It's just really different hours because, like, if my buddy asks me to go play golf on Wednesday at 11 a.m., I can do that. But if you ask me to do something over the weekend, like if it's football season, probably not. And so it's just really different hours. And then if you want me to like go see a movie, I'm free any night. But there's a chance that I have to, walk out and handle something on a moment's notice.
Right.
So it's like whenever you ever had a job that it's like they're like unlimited vacation days. We don't do vacation days around here, which is corporate code for no vacation days. Right. That's kind of like what the whole thing is, where you are always on your own schedule, more or less, but you're also a slave to the schedule of what happens. Like, things are going to happen, and you have to react to them. That's the whole thing, is to react to the things that happen. And so when things aren't happening, do whatever you want. But when they happen, drop what you're doing and then react.
Yeah.
So You have been known. Yeah, that's right. No, I'm playing.
into it.
So I have. Okay, last
No,
year.
stick with you have been known. What have I been known for?
You have been known to be somebody who's built some strong relationships with whoever.
That's fair.
All right,
Just say it.
Inside of the Brian Callahan.
You're over here doing a ridiculous tiptoe
I am just tap
around when
dancing
everybody
around
in the
it.
room knows you want to say.
So Brian and Nick Holtz, I felt like you had a real strong relationship with.
Yeah.
And I feel like you got to experience both sides of that sword. You were swinging the sword because you had a heck of a lot of information. And when they had to fall on their sword, social media wanted to throw you on the sword with it. How did you balance that? And how do you... Was there anything that you were like, maybe I would do this different in the future? Not that I think you should. I love hearing, detailed information. Or, how do you even build a relationship like that?
That's a lot. First of all, I honestly am pleased that sentence starts with "you have been known for," because it's like I feel like I wasn't really trying to hide it, which I think is what's important. Like, I'm somebody that will tell you that I'm not like a big J journalist. I dabble in journalism. I do things that are journalism-y, but I'm not somebody like Nick, who works in a newspaper, or the way that Karski carries himself, and to an extent the way that TD has to operate working for the worldwide leader. Like it's different. It's different. And so I think there's more than one way to skin a cat, and there are plenty of fine ways to do so. And a lot of people would tell you like it's dishonorable or it's dishonest, or like, to me, what matters is how you're presenting yourself. Are you being honest about where you're coming from? Does your audience understand? Like, it's almost an extension of the way that I'm a Titans fan, and I don't shy away from that the way that some people do. Now, there are plenty of people in this market that tell you like, I'm not a fan, and they mean it. They don't like the team.
Yeah. But,
That's not a lie.
I'm saying names.
That's not posing. They really are not fans of the
He
team.
really hates us.
And then there are some folks, again, not in this market necessarily, but like in any market, there are folks that are gonna be like, no, I'm not a fan of the team. You're like, stop posing on that.
You're celebrating every time we score a touchdown.
Yeah, exactly. To me, I think it's dumb in the modern age of media to, again, like, go look at the people doing this at the highest level. Like on ESPN, there are people that are known to be Jets fans and known to be Seahawks fans. And like, it's not an issue for a lot of really successful people in this industry when they're honest about it, because they are able to do their job as analysts in a way that you can listen to what they're saying and take their opinion for what it is, and then bake that in. Be like, okay, the person that I know is a Seahawks fan has his opinion on the Seahawks. Let me decide how I feel about that. And do I think that their analysis is biased or not? And if you, the consumer, decide like, I feel like they do a pretty good job of being able to divorce their personal fandom emotions from their unbiased opinion, then I don't think anybody would have an issue with leaning into what they have to say, because you still value what they're saying. You feel like they're doing a good job of doing that. Now, I'm sure there are plenty of people that feel like, the funny thing is I get way, way more accusations of hating the Titans than I do for loving the Titans. But I'm sure there are some folks that think I'm rosier than I should because I'm a Titans fan. If that's how you feel, that's like, I really don't care. That is your prerogative. What I care about is people understanding where I'm coming from, because I'm being honest about being a Titans fan or who I have a strong relationship with. And not to say that like every sourced relationship I have, I'm like out front and center, like, this is the person I talk to. That's not the way that it works. You can't be that way. But with somebody like Brian, who is somebody that and here's what's kind of lost in all this, which is kind of funny to me, it doesn't really matter. But when I tell people that I really enjoyed Brian Callahan, because I did really enjoy working around and with Brian Callahan, I'm speaking for everyone on the beat. Everyone loves Brian. I just am more honest about it, I guess, or maybe I'm more forward about it because I had a better relationship with him than anybody else did. He's a really nice and level-headed, normal person who made our jobs really easy. And even the saltiest person that you may think had the biggest reason to hate Brian in that room, I know for a fact, having spent weeks and weeks of work with them, they at the very least respected the heck out of the guy for making their jobs easier. Because that's ultimately like, how much are you giving us? How useful are you to us in a purely transactional way? And he was extremely useful. And we were all, in a way, selfishly, professionally rooting him on, because we all would love to continue to have that kind of guy around, because it made our jobs easier. It made us better at our jobs. And so like that, there are folks in that room that be like, I wasn't rooting him on. I'm here to tell you they're lying. They were rooting for that guy to stick around because he was making their jobs easier. They were. The reality is, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. And I'm somebody that would tell you, I think it would have been varying degrees of didn't work out for literally anybody in that situation with those teams. Not to say that nobody could have done better than he did. I don't think that at all. I think there are certainly people that could have done better than he did. But I think that he chose the wrong time to become a head coach of the Tennessee Titans, if I'm being totally honest with
Anytime in the last 5 years is about that time.
Now, I also think that there were some things that he definitely wasn't ready for. And I think he would probably tell you that, to be honest with you. To talk about a thing there's not a handbook for, being a head coach. And it just, like, ultimately it didn't work out. And I was somebody that before he got fired, that's the other thing is you said, having both ends of that sword. The very first thing I wrote last season, when the game started, the first thing that I wrote after the kickoff of the first game was a piece directly bashing Brian Callahan and his decision making in that game. It's the only thing I wrote that night in Denver, which was a game that I went to out there. And it's funny that like I would do that, and Brian would know that I would do that, and we had a relationship built on respect that enabled me to do my job and like be as honest as I can. But then I still carry the reputation of like being the Brian apologist when I felt like I was
carrying his water everywhere.
I certainly was more sympathetic to where he was coming from than a lot of people were. So I'm not saying that like you guys are all wrong. I actually hated Brian. Obviously not. I don't know. He's a guy that I built a relationship with, and was I biased in some way because we had a very good relationship? I'm sure at times I was. Yeah. I'm sure. Again, anybody in this industry that tells you that they're not, based on a really good source of theirs, is lying to you. Is lying, because it's called being a human being. And that's not to say that like everything's fake, believe nothing. What I'm saying is, as a consumer, use your eyes and ears, look at who's saying what, where it's coming from, where you can reasonably deduce, hey, they're probably talking to this person, or, Diana probably knows Mike pretty well, or whatever it is.
No, they don't know each other that
whatever
well.
example might come to mind, that's the first one that came to mind for me.
Yeah. Better than most.
And then it's on you to make the calculation, what does this mean to me based on what I know? For sure.
Man, you found a interesting lane to be in. I'll be honest with you, okay? I've got my big four of Titans media. Okay. Of the 6 people we have.
The Mount Rushmore?
Yeah, Mount Rushmore. You're on my Mount Rushmore.
It's half the room. But
So I am a Zach Lyons fan because I'm an analytical nerd at heart.
I hate that guy, but I love that guy. No, Zach's my boy.
TD's one of my favorite because he's just kind of always cool. He reminds me of if he was a dog, he'd be a greyhound.
Sure.
I don't know why.
I don't know if he runs that fast.
He would tell you that's rude, and he absolutely can run that.
Yeah, you better believe it. If we have him on next week,
he has been working out.
Former receiver, how dare you?
Yeah. So you watch your mouth.
Yeah.
When you talk about him.
When y'all have him on, make them race.
Can we edit that out?
No. We didn't edit the first episode with TD. We're not doing the second.
That's fair.
Okay, so TD, Zach, I personally, my third favorite, the room is going to look at me crazy when I say this, but Buck just cracks me up because I've grown up with people who are similar to him, and he just reminds me of childhood friends. And you're up there, and I'll tell you why, for me personally. You have figured out a way to, like, your midday stuff where you'll randomly post in the midday, maybe it's a 4 or 5 minute video, you talking Titans, plays a little it's the music plus the content, like you bring it in a way where it's refreshing. And I'm curious to know, understanding you're a fan, you grew up here, you've been here, for basically your whole life. So you've experienced 3 good years of football your whole life.
Hey, Chris Johnson ran for 2,000 yards one time. How dare you? There's some 13-win seasons in there.
There's a couple
we don't
of
have to
them.
pay attention when having the postseason, but they won a lot of games.
They were there those regular
They
seasons.
won a lot of games.
So with that, like, how have you found the ability to strike the balance of being engaging but also not being like a super fan? Like, you're not just like engaging because everything you say is positive.
I agree with you that I've found that. It's hard for me to articulate how. I think it's just like the way that my brain works, to be honest with you, because I'm a fan of other teams in other sports that I have no work connection to. So I'm just purely a fan. And I've never been like delusional fan guy. Which I love, for the record, I love delusional.
I'm delusional as it
I love
gets.
delusional fan guy because, one, it's the purest form of fandom, and two, and more importantly, that guy pays my bills. So
It's definitely true.
I love delusional fan guy. It's just like not the way that I'm like kind of cold and divorced when it comes to sports teams, and I'll get crazy heated in the moment and go crazy in the stands and all of that. It's not that I like can't cheer on my team. But I like thinking about and talking about the process, like the game theory behind building a team, winning games, becoming a champion, just as much as I like winning any given Sunday. You know what I mean? So I think it's just the way that I'm wired. But that being said, there definitely is an acclimation period when you transition from being a fan of a team to covering a team, where you have to kind of learn how to wrestle with that. And like I think back to my first couple of games in the press box when they were barely and questionably letting me into the place. And the way that you get used to, like, the no cheering and the things that you almost subconsciously want to be.
Is it
like,
silent in there?
No, it's not silent. It's very much like, have you ever sat around with your buddies at the bar and watched a game where nobody has any really, like, no connection to it?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, wow, like, from a total third-party perspective, you're like, wow, did you see that play? Or like, oh, that's ugly. Like, that's the way that it is in that room.
Yeah.
Everybody either is or acts like it's just a random game that they have no connection to.
Wow.
And so it's not silent, but there's certainly no cheering. We'll laugh if something funny happens,
Yeah.
and we'll all ooh and ah if something like wow, like if something incredible happens, it won't be cheering, but it'll be like, can you believe that? That's incredible,
Makes
kind of
sense.
thing. Again, just kind of like admiring the beauty of the sport
Yeah,
more than
yeah.
the team is the best way I can put it, I guess. But it is weird when like the whole place blows up and we're all like taking notes and typing away, and so looking for the TV to see the replay, to see the little thing that happened or whatever. And so the way that when I first started doing it, I actually enjoyed it because when something awesome would happen for the team, and inside I was like really excited about it, my outlet, instead of like cheering and clapping and going crazy, was like to reasonably praise the team from a content standpoint. Let me write about this awesome game. Let me write about this incredible performance that this guy had, or whatever it is. Let me write about how the coach did something incredible in this situation and they deserve praise for it. And so you can be kind of like a professional fan in that way, where you're not expressing biased fandom, but you are reasonably praising the good thing that happened. And that was my outlet to get that out. Nice. And then coming on the morning show the next day and like being reasonably like, wow, can you believe that game? And talking about it in a positive way. When something bad happened, I got to kind of double dip, because I could then just turn my work brain on and decide to, like, and probably not healthy, like just shove those emotions, lay down, bottle them up, put the cork on there, and just go to work and like do my job for the day, knock it out, and then forget the Titans ever exist. So that's the way that I approached it first. And then you just do it enough. And if you talk to anybody in this industry, not because most folks in media don't cover the team that they're fans of, but they know what it's like to work in sports. And when you work in sports and you cover games in person, it just changes your perspective, because you are forced to have a different worldview in order to do your job well. So you just kind of get used to it, I guess, is the way that I'd put it.
So
By the way, just for the record, I'm sorry to cut you off.
You're good.
The last time I ever got to be a fan, like a true, unvarnished, just not looking at any game through any lens besides being a fan of the team, was the AFC Championship game run. So I ended on a good note. That January, I was just going nuts and watching the game as a fan, and it was the best. And then after that, I started to dive into things.
And that's what ruined the Titans.
That's okay. I need to just go back to being a fan. I need to just go back to being a
Well,
fan.
he may have just answered my question, but I was going to ask you, what's your favorite Titans moment pre being like a reporter, and then what's your favorite moment post?
Well, your first question has a lot of answers I have to narrow down, and your second question is going to require me to think for a while, because there aren't many of them. So the things that I loved when I was just a fan. This is kind of innocuous, but the first thing that came to mind for me was, and I forget, you're going to help me with what year this was, but remember when the Titans were massive underdogs to the Tom Brady Patriots came into town? It was on my birthday, November 11th. I forget what year. My dad and I were going to the game because he had his season tickets, and it was my birthday. But we were joking before the game. We were getting lunch, like real crappy present for me to go and watch us just get our face bashed in. And then the Titans killed them, right? I mean, they throttled them, and it was nobody could believe what they were seeing.
Nice.
So that game sticks out for sure. What else? I mean, again, that playoff run, the moment where I remember sprinting around my house was the dagger deep touchdown pass in the Ravens game.
To Raymond?
To Raymond, yeah.
Oh, man.
That Khalif Raymond just dime where he has to lay out, and you're thinking he's going to drop it because his whole body hits the ground. And so that play definitely sticks out. And then, another one was, and this happened, I guess, technically since I started to dip my toe into working the actual job, but going to that Tuesday night Bills game during COVID.
That was
That was such a good
That
game.
was amazing.
The whole PK practice thing had just happened. That was that week.
They're out here practicing, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like the vibes were bad. I know they were big underdogs in that game, and then they stomped them. Those are the three.
Was that the
things
Josh Norman game?
Yeah.
Where you got the stiff on?
Yeah.
Yes.
Was that the Josh Norman?
I think.
So, I can't remember if it was that one or when we stopped Josh Allen at the
No,
one.
No,
they
Josh
weren't-
Allen was on
No,
Monday Night
'cause
Football.
They weren't wearing masks in that game because I remember that clip where Taylor Lewan.
Oh, he's in the front row with my kids.
He's sitting with my wife and kids in the boxes. They weren't wearing masks on the sideline, so that was another game I think. But that was the game where they beat him 42-7 or something.
Yeah.
Just curb stomped them on a Tuesday night football game because of weird COVID rules. A thing that you can do, I guess. Tuesday night football.
Right.
They're going to find ways to get football on every day of the
I was
week.
about to say they did it during COVID, and they're like, "Oh, we can get away with this. They're gonna just let us do this."
More money. Yeah. Man, so let's talk about Titans and where we stand right now.
All right.
So I've seen your discourse around the Carnell Tate pick. I am curious to know this. One, since you're a fan, I can ask you this. I couldn't ask anybody else. I mean, Zach and them are fans, but still. Carnell Tate, Wan'Dale Robinson, Calvin Ridley. In terms of...
Team Ray DK.
I said the three names I wanted to mention. He's a Florida guy, so he's just all over it. Just kills me, man. I mean, gosh.
I mean, there's only one All-Pro in that room.
Thank you.
Oh, not in that
He
room.
said it.
No,
He
that's,
said it,
that's
not
Mo
me.
Fossil's
Oh, he's in the
room.
Bones room. He's only an All-Pro in this team. He's not an All-Pro in the receiver.
Him and Morgan Cox in there. There's two All-Pros in that room.
Yeah, that's that room over there, man.
It's like
It's a totally
Hercules when the
different
golden
room.
globe comes off of him. It's just a mortal man in the wide
That's it.
receiver
It's
room.
just normal. Yeah. So with that trio, one, this is a bold take, but I personally believe, based off talent and potential and slight delusion, this is the best wide receiver.
You gotta have it. You gotta have it.
Some delusion.
Do you think that this is the best wide receiver core that we've had in the Titans' history?
Ever? Wow.
Ever.
We think so. People are throwing out Mason, Dyson, Bennett.
Yeah, I
And-
mean, I'm thinking about guys that were a little bit before my time, but that's the room that comes to mind first. I don't know. I mean, I think this is going to be maybe a grimy answer, but based on how they played that year, because if we're talking about just the talent of the individuals based on their careers, the room that had AJ Brown and Julio Jones in it is obviously the best room.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's not what we're talking about. That year when Corey and Mason and Adam Humphries were the three guys was a pretty good room. I think this room definitely has the potential to be better than that. The reason why I bring that up is because that room was similar to this one in the way that we knew AJ was the one in terms of like a game plan standpoint. But him and I think he just barely eclipsed 1,000, and then Corey came just shy of 1,000.
Right, yep.
But they had roughly the same production. And I think it was on roughly the same number of targets, but I'm not positive. So they were kind of a 1A, 1B that year, and Adam Humphries scored a lot of really important red zone touchdowns, catches, like the third down chain mover guy. Like he was a pivotal player in that way. And then Delaney was in that room, obviously.
Yeah.
So that I probably should have lumped him in there. This room has the potential to be better than those for sure. It's going to require a couple of things to go right, though. Like you got to kind of hit the 777s on the slot machine. I don't know totally what to expect from Carnell year one. If he's like an 800 or 900 yard guy, I feel like we're all going to be really pleased with that. But if that's the best guy in the room, because I mean the last guy getting near 1,000 yards receiving for this team was
Ridley hit it 2 years ago. Did I make that?
Yeah, you're right. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
like 2014.
Ridley with all those. I don't garbage time is rude, but like all of those yards in games.
There's a lot of garbage
where
time.
the team already sucked. Yeah,
Those meant a lot to me.
yeah. Those yards are important to me. Yeah. So fair enough. I was thinking back to like before him, was it AJ?
I would think so. I mean, AJ had, I know, at least in his rookie season, he had 1052 and 8 touchdowns.
Right. So if that's the kind of year that Tate has, then obviously we're all going to be stoked about it. And then Wandale, like there's no question he's going to be fine on volume. Like he's going to be a volume receiver. He's going to be somebody that touches the ball a lot and impacts the game for good or for bad. And I'm excited to see what the two young guys do as rotational players because I know Daboll's going to rotate these guys.
Yeah.
Ridley is like the X factor in the room that you named because it's like where's his head at? How consistently is he on the field? When he's on the field, how consistent is he in those games?
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember the player that he was in the Arizona game this past year.
Yeah.
But we saw that for 2.5 quarters of the entire season. Season. So how much of that did we get? Because I also remember him those final 8 games of the year when he got to 1,000 2 years ago. And that's the kind of guy we were all excited about coming into last year. Because it felt like, okay, he settled in, he's got his thing, and then they changed quarterbacks again. But really it was more than that went into it. It just didn't work out. I also just am always terrified of an older, like a receiver whose age starts with a 3 and is starting to have hamstring issues. Those don't go away.
No.
So they don't go away.
Those soft tish guys.
That's right. Thank you, Will Compton. I don't.
That was a good pull.
Yeah. So
Get that
I think
fixed.
that it has the potential to be the best for sure. And I think in this offense with Daboll pulling the strings and Cam wanting to push the ball down the field, there's going to be the opportunity for them to do that if they're in a lot of these games. Fingers crossed. I just don't know if it will be.
And that's the interesting part. I know I'm talking, y'all. Y'all can jump in. I'm sorry. That's the interesting part for me, especially Ridley being the X factor. The part that I think about as an ignorant fan is on the human side of it. If I am working my job, I'm a PM in real life, and my team's like, hey, we brought in another PM. We're thinking about bringing in some more in the future. If you want to be here, you got to take a pay cut. And me coming in, like, I get it. His pay cut's probably more than he was going to make on the open market, so maybe he views it a different way. But it's also the team telling you that your worth to us is lower than what it was when you signed this contract. I wonder how he comes in and comes back injury, but injury plus there's other guys in this room that they may value more than me.
Well, I think you're right that I don't know how he's going to take that. But if I were him, I would be thinking about exactly how you laid it out, where it's like, man, I have to think about this year in a vacuum. What was I going to get in all, like, what were my opportunities this year? What were the options? And this was probably the best one in terms of money, so I win. That's the way that he has to approach it. I don't know that he will. I really don't know that he will, but that's where Titans fans have to hope he's coming from.
You can only pray.
So how would you break down the targets? Because I think coming in that Carnell Tate probably needs to be the leader in that regard. Like
120? Is that what you're
120, 130 targets.
I don't know,
Malik
man.
Neighbors had 170.
Why should
I mean, God.
True. Why shouldn't Wandale be that though? Like if he's a guy that is proven capable of being a volume receiver in this exact offense.
Wow.
And Tate is someone who is a rookie, no matter how talented we think that he is. I would be looking to maximize the efficiency of Tate's targets, and in terms of volume, probably look to guys like Wandale and Ridley and some of the underneath guys until you feel like, because you don't want to lean to, like, Neighbors did get a ton, but I also felt like that was not the healthiest situation in terms of how much they were relying on the young guy to go and figure it out. And Leaf Neighbors is also like a significantly better prospect than Carnell Tate was.
I won't hear it. I agree with you.
Significantly might be strong, but like it was a clear tier break between those two. And I love Tate, and I was somebody, again, like if you were listening to our show, you know that
right
I was
on the money.
the only soldier. Well, I wasn't. Don't give me that credit because it's not true. I wasn't right on the money about Tate. I was right about it not being Sonny Styles, and I was right about, we'll never know this technically. I would think I was right about them having Bailey and Love as their top guys. I was wrong, dead wrong, stupid idiot moron about Arvell Reese. What I knew from a reporting standpoint was that they were really hoping one of the two edge guys between Tate and Reese, or excuse me, between Bailey and Reese would fall to them at 4, where I had to kind of do some guesswork and made a wrong assumption. If we're just checking the tape on it, is like, I think I leaned a little bit more into what I had heard about them liking Reese than I should have, when in reality they were honestly hoping he would fall to them as trade fodder, not necessarily as the guy. Now, it was not a foregone conclusion when it came down to Tate and Reese on the board. That room was like, yep, obviously it's Tate. It was a real conversation when they were on the clock. I've talked to people about it. What it came down to ultimately was, and there definitely are some people in that building who were like, in their heart, would have preferred Reese. The entire war room all agreed on what they thought Tate would be and how he would be used in the NFL and in this program. The room did not all agree on what they thought Reese would be and how he would, probably most importantly, how he would be deployed for this team. And so there's like a level of conflict management there, and people being on the same page and hedging your bets and all of these things. Like Mike Borgonzi has to make the choice to go with the guy who they all feel very good about. They're all on the same page on, and they do genuinely have in that, I mean, at the top of their horizontal board, their early first or their top 10 sector, however they have it labeled, he's in there with the 3 or 4 other guys. And so I get why he made that call. I totally do.
So, I know that you were live covering the draft, at least in the first round.
First 2 nights.
Yeah. So we did the same thing.
Uh-huh.
So what was the fan base reaction when when Jeremiah Love was drafted, and 2 when the pick was Carnell Tate?
We were in the DraftKings Sport and Social downtown, which we were like set up with our back to the stadium, right across the river. The stadium was there, and so the stadium party was going on back there, and you could like hear the noise and see the lights, and the reaction in the DraftKings Sport and Social. that other book.
We'll bleep that out.
Our contract's done with them. I don't, we don't have any contract with them anymore. It's fine.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
I said it, not him.
Yeah, his words, not mine. I don't remember it being like the end of the world in that room when Love went 3. There was definitely a surprise.
Yeah.
Now, people that moseyed over across the pedestrian bridge that came in later, who were at the stadium party, said that it was like a tough scene in the stadium. I don't know. That's secondhand. But they were even. I got sent some pictures of some guys that had custom printed Love Titans jerseys. They were wearing them there at the stadium, which is a tough look.
That would have been me and Randy.
I was sick. I'm not gonna lie. I was sick when Jeremiah.
The crash out was real.
I submitted to my graphics guy T-shirt plans. I was literally calling the vendor like,
I know.
And then it happened, and we didn't even have a graphic ready for Carnell Tate when he got drafted. That's how far off we were.
Well, and that's why, Ryan Roberts and I at AtoZSports.com wrote that week, I think on Tuesday, about how our intel made us feel pretty comfortable in saying, like, the Love interest from Arizona is super real. And if they can't move out of that pick, they may very well take Love. And I went into that night thinking, if they don't move, they're going to take Love. Now, I thought they were going to move. Like, if you made me guess, I was going to guess they were going to move. But the phone just was not ringing.
Wow.
So it was tough. And then the Tate pick, everybody was shocked. Like, it was the shock of the first round, Shock of the top 5, top 10 at least. So I don't think anybody was like crashing out mad, but everyone was just kind of floored, like, wow, I can't believe they passed on Arvell Reese.
That probably shocked me, like, just because I felt like I knew Borgo. In my head, I'm like,
But in
all
hindsight,
right,
this is him. It's the premium position. The guy that's a ready-made pro. Like nobody was questioning how ready-made the next Ohio State receiver was to the NFL. Like everybody understands that. So this is him, man. Like Boy Scout, ready-made, professional, premium position, a position they need for a player they're trying to maximize. Like it does make sense. It does.
Yeah, when I sat back and thought about it, it
In hindsight.
in hindsight, in the moment,
It's
We were
surprising.
shocked.
No,
We
it
were
totally,
shocked.
it totally
I was
surprised
hurt.
me.
I wasn't mad or happy. I was just purely shocked. I don't know. I felt like you lied to me too. Like I felt like you
did,
and
kinda.
other guys knew that
I
it was
did.
Tate, and y'all were just on. Y'all were paid
No,
$25 to never say Tate's name or something like. It just I felt so shocked.
$25 would not be nearly enough. Not nearly enough. I was shocked too, and I did. I mean, when I told everyone that it would be one of the edge guys if Love wasn't there, I was wrong. I was wrong about that.
We all were.
So that's tough. Like I was right about. Again, if I'm like talking about what intel I actually had, I knew for a fact they wanted one of those guys to be there, and then the logical leap that I made was incorrect. So
I mean,
now if Bailey was there, like
I think they were going Bailey.
Yeah.
I feel pretty certain that it was going to be Bailey all day, all
sure.
day. And I think if Love was still there, I still think that it was going to be Jeremiah Love.
I agree.
I have reason to believe that it would have been Jeremiah Love. So, but it wasn't.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think I was the only one here amongst the collective of guys that's saying, hey, you come out there first round with a weapon for Cam Ward no matter what. I said, if it ain't Jeremiah Love, I'm walking out. If it ain't Carnell Tate, I'm walking out. Now, the way that transpired live in action,
He was hurt.
I was hurt.
We all wanted Reese
I was
in
hurt.
that situation.
No.
He wanted Love. no
I
matter what.
wanted
Love.
Jeremiah
Okay.
Love no matter what.
But once he was gone, had you even had time to think about who you wanted at that
I
point?
wanted-
just
I
assumed
wanted
no, no.
Reese.
I just assumed it was
assumed.
Reese.
Yeah.
But who did you want in that moment?
Reese.
I was
wanted?
just ready to walk out.
Oh, you're just done. I quit. I rage quit.
I think I
flipped the
wanted
board.
Reese because I felt like he was, to me, the best prospect available.
Okay.
Well, Sonny Styles, you maybe could argue that
And I agree,
position
by the
wise.
way. Yeah,
but I felt like Arvell Reese. People were talking about him
He was the best value.
like he
in
was
my
a
opinion.
he was a project to me. I
Agreed.
didn't think that he was as big as a project as what.
He's not a project. This is a
Thank
ridiculous
you.
idea. He's not a project.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
He's
I thought he was a project.
He's an
I thought he
incredible
took it to a
prospect. He's
project.
not a
And that
project.
You know,
moves
with
me
him and
along
Femi.
to something that I want to get off my chest
Oh,
too.
here we go.
It's time.
Give him his one, Randy.
He got his one.
It's time. I have sat here and listened to a guy who has a Chimere DK jersey on.
He's an all-pro.
Continue to call somebody else a project that we drafted in the first round. I personally have watched enough Kendrick Faulk highlights on YouTube, not actual film. But anyways, where I don't think Kendrick Faulk is a project because to me, projects have to build up multiple facets of their game in order to be considered a true NFL starter. I think Keldric Faulk's ability to stop the run elevates him past the project level, and he now goes from a floor of a guy who's a good run stopper and a decent in pass rushing opportunities. But I think that Keldric Faulk is not a project. Can you please tell Cody?
I didn't call him a project.
No, yes, you did. You said he's like
I
Femi.
said-
You said he was
I
like
said
Femi.
Reese
No,
was a
I'm
project.
not gonna let you backtrack right now, dog. You said he was like Femi, and he's a guy who's a project. Easton, where do you
I
stand
don't
on
remember
that?
saying that.
Sorry, on Keldric or on Tate?
On Keldric.
On Keldric. I don't think that he's a project.
Eat that, Cody, you bastard.
I didn't say
he
that.
said it. He said it. We'll pull up the film.
We weren't even live.
No, man.
You damn bastard.
He did say it off air. I don't care. I'm bringing it on air.
Hey, bro.
Well, it all depends on how you define project, because a project prospect is somebody, to me, that the thing that you want them to do well, they don't have a whole lot of evidence of doing well. So, like, Anthony Richardson, their flashes were all there. I loved Anthony Richardson, for
Thank
the
you.
record.
Oh, my gosh. Now you just went down a peg.
6'4",
Yeah, it's
240.
Mount Rushmore.
Runs a
immediately.
4.3, 40.
I loved the
Throws it
idea of
80
Anthony
yards.
Richardson. I did love the idea of him.
No good quarterback
But-
can do a backflip.
Trying to think of that.
I bet if Cam Newton tried
You
hard
might
enough,
be.
he could.
Yeah. I bet Newton probably could, but he. Yeah.
throw a
Anyways,
shoulder
I don't think that Keldric is going to be asked to be some phenomenal pass rush pro this season. He's going to be somebody that I do think gets between 5 and 9 sacks because I think that he's going to be a part of a.
Year one.
5 to 9.
Year one.
I think that he could.
Wow.
If he plays all the games.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
If he
okay.
plays all the games, if he plays the full season and plays a healthy snap count, I definitely think that he could be. I don't want to say cleanup sacks, but just being around the quarterback as much as he was last year, because that's something that even he, pointed out to us on our first day with him. Hey, I was around the quarterback so much and I pressured the quarterback so much, but I did not finish the way that I needed to, and so that's going to be a big focus for me. And so I think that he's somebody that has a lot of potential. To me, having a ton of potential and a lot of room to grow to your ceiling isn't the same as being a project. And he is somebody that definitely has not gotten close to his ceiling, definitely has a lot of room to grow, is only, freshly 21 years old in this past fall, all of those things. And that's a part of his valuation. It's part of what I think Titans fans should be excited about, that this guy has a lot more in the tank and a lot more room on his frame, because he's built like an NBA player right now, a lot more room on his frame to turn into John Franklin Myers, turn into Micah Williams, be that guy that plays outside early and out and inside late. And that's what the solid defense needs. And John Franklin Myers, who they just paid a bunch of money to, the reality with any free agent that we kind of lose sight of in the offseason because we think we signed him and he's here forever. No, they're probably here for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's how free agency works. They're probably here for 2 years. If things are awesome and they're somehow affordable, then they'll maybe be here longer. But even when your guy signs a 3 or a 4 year contract, they're probably here for 2 years. Sometimes they're here for 1 year.
Yeah.
And so I think that the team was very smart to see that value. I was talking to Borgo last night, off the record, but I don't think he'll have any issue with me sharing this.
Yes, tell us everything.
No. He just said what we all knew, and what he had basically said at the podium after they made the pick. He was shocked he was still there. He was like, we had him in the, everyone in the league had him in the late teens. Everyone that he thought, he thought everyone in the league had him in the late teens, early 20s, like we all did. And so they as a room were like, you can't pass up this. What he said on the record at the podium was, when you see a guy like that still on the board, you don't forego the opportunity to go and get that guy. So the value, I think, was fantastic. And I think thinking beyond just this year and next with guys like JFM, where obviously to Gus Bradley and Robert Saleh, building up the defensive front and having bodies not just to be top-end starters, but to be able to rotate, to be that deep is, I don't even want to say important undersells it. I think it is a requirement for them. I think they see it as a requirement. And so adding a guy like Keldric, who could be the John Franklin Myers of this system, worthy of a $20+ million a year contract after a rookie contract, is exactly what they should have done.
So do you don't think that the Keldric Faulk pick was any show of how they felt about how Femi played last year?
No, I think they see him as totally different players.
Okay.
And I genuinely think they're pretty excited about Femi. I think that he's going to be playing more of that. I think it's going to be him and Jermaine, because they're lacking that true wide 9 speed rusher archetype right now, which they would like on paper. You'd like that player in this situation, but they don't have him. You don't have to have him, but you'd like him to kind of round out the room. I think those two guys are going to be doing a lot of that. That wide rusher on third downs, which is fine. It's not that they're incapable of it. I think Femi's the kind of guy that has the frame, and I think Jermaine too, to an extent. They have the frame and the strength to be able to play that more big end role if needed. But clearly, something that I've had to kind of change my opinion on with this coaching staff is, I think what they ideally want in that big end player is a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. I thought that it was the bigger version of a true edge rusher, not the guy that's the opposite of the wide 9 speed guy, our Mason Thomas guy, the opposite of the Arden Key, but not a guy that you'd ever really consider to bump inside as a true defensive lineman. What I've learned based on their actions and talking to them is no, they kind of see that role as ideally being somebody that is a true hybrid, Danico Autry type, you know, like John Franklin Myers is that as well. But to kind of bring it home for Titans fans, like that kind of guy is where they want to be living for that role. And so I don't think that in this version of their system, Femi is actually that guy. When at one point I kind of thought he might have been, but apparently not.
Yeah.
I got a question as far as with like Marcus Harris, right? And
Okay.
I know they continue to talk about him as the.
They seem to love the guy, man.
Yeah, they seem to
He's going to be a lot of fun. You better not be lying, you
Keep an eye
bastard.
on him, yeah.
I'm saying, so when it comes to that and them talking about him in the big nickel role and just them mentioning his size and stuff, like, is there anything that you can maybe grasp from their answers that maybe see how they may deploy him, I guess?
I think that he's just going to be a true nickel. I don't know that for a fact, but like the way that Saleh and Borgonzi and Gus Bradley today talk about him, and this was obvious last year, like when he came in as a part of that class that was kind of the defining Mike Borgonzi. Oh, he likes these guys that are Boy Scouts and true leaders and consistent day in and day out. Like they kind of have like a golfer mindset where it's like never too high, never too low kind of guys. He fit that mold for sure. And so it's not like he's somebody you talk to once and you're like, I'm not surprised that Mike Borgonzi likes this guy. Of course he likes this guy. And there's some guys on this team that are not draft picks of his where you talk to them and you're like, I get why he keeps this guy around. Or the inverse where you're like, I'm not sure this guy's going to stick around forever because it's like, I'm not sure he's that guy. You know what I mean? But Marcus Harris is definitely that guy. And he's somebody that, he's not going to wow you with his athleticism or his frame. That's the reason why he was a sixth round pick. Yeah, sixth round pick. But he is somebody that it may be kind of the poster boy for Borgonzi's general theory of like the intangibles can make up for the indeficiencies. Like where true, pure athleticism and build fail, intangibles and smarts can make up for it. And at cornerback of all positions, that's a bold thing to
Bold
think.
strategy, Cotton.
It's a bold strategy. But with a guy like that who can be a pure nickel, who body type wise, he is definitely that mold. So it's not surprising that they're trying to bump him inside. I just think that we haven't seen a whole lot of him in that role.
Right.
And when we do get to see it, we may be coming away with a little bit more excited the way that they're excited. Like, wow, okay, I get why they're stoked about this guy in that role because I think that he's tailored to that.
Let's play a little mental gymnastics and let's jump to the other side of the
All
ball,
right.
right? Let's go to the trenches. We talked about this a little bit earlier. How do you feel that the offensive line will shake out? That there's something that we addressed a little bit later in the draft.
Why is that everybody's reaction?
Classic Titan.
This was clearly something that we addressed late.
Yeah.
Now, it was other prospects that I would have liked higher, but I'm not mad at the picks of what they done.
Sure.
So if you were to assume, I guess, how do you see them laying this out? Is it Big Sloat in the middle at center? Is it Slater and you think the battles may be at the guard position?
Anybody
Or
but
do you
Bolson.
think both of those positions may be challenged?
Anybody but Bolson.
Yeah,
Coogan.
I still don't really see a path to them getting a guard that I'm pleased with right now.
man.
You don't believe
it seems
Zeitler's
like
coming
the
back.
Zeitler thing is over.
You've been the strongest voice on, I don't really think Zeitler's coming back. So if he does come
Yeah.
back, everybody blame him.
I'd be happy to be wrong about that one. I don't.
too.
I think that dream is dead.
Damn.
Dead? Easton! You cannot say this on this beautiful Saturday morning. I had a little bit of, don't do this right now, sir.
I think the dream is dead.
Oh!
I don't know the dream is dead, but I think the dream is dead. I know. I mean, he's gonna play somewhere, so you got a 1 in 32 chance.
So
I guess.
he is still going to play, but most likely not with the
He
Titans.
looked me in my eyes at the end of the season on locker cleanout day and was like, "I'm not retiring." So I would assume he's gonna.
Watch him go into
He
division
hates us,
too.
bro. He hated it here.
No, he wanted to be back. That's the thing. It's just I don't think it worked out. I don't think it worked out. Maybe I'm wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong. Again, I'm not like reporting for sure he's not coming back. Everything that I know and that I've heard makes me think Probably not.
God, see, I should have went to the install. We gave tickets out to some of our fans
Okay.
for the install last night.
We had to be husbands.
I should have went. Yeah, we all
again.
had to have date nights. I should have went and looked Borgo in the eye and say, "Look here, you New England bastard,
Beautiful
Grab him by the
Boston
collar.
bastard.
Yeah, if you don't do it, I swear I should have did it. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'll let
Have
you
a pint
answer
of
this
Guinness
question
with 'em.
about how you think it'll shake out.
So at guard, I really don't know. I know that I think Slater, they're kind of grooming to be that go-to rotational guy that is going to play any of the interior spots when you need him to. But I'm not. I think that he'll be given a chance to win a job. I don't know that he's going to win one. You probably heard like last year struggled to keep on the weight that they'd like to be able to play guard. Maybe that changes this year. I don't know. At center, they have some options. Like I think if you maybe guess, I'd bet Sloatman starts the year at center. But I think that they want Coogan to win the job, and like win it this summer. Ideally, I think they like him to just win the job, which is talk about a bold strategy.
Rose Bowl MVP.
I don't. That's right, but I don't know. His athletic limitations are really concerning to me, and I liked the guy a lot, and I mocked him to the Titans in that range, and I thought it was a great pick at that range. But in terms of picking that guy to be your starter in year one, that is a steep ask. That's a steep ask. So go ahead.
I'm sorry to cut
No,
you
you're
off,
good.
But do you think we may be approaching this thing the same way of the pressure that we put on Bill Callahan? I
Sure.
know,
It's all
I know a lot
Brasillo.
of talk was with the staff that we have built with it, which is on paper a very impressive staff. It's a very strong staff. Do you think it may be relying on him to say, "Hey, figure this out"?
A little bit. I mean, he's a guy that definitely deserves the trust of this staff in this way to an extent. You can like the same thing with Bill that I talked about at the time will apply to him, where it's like he can be a phenomenal coach, he can be incredible and the best in the business. He's still not a miracle worker. Like you can't at the end of the day, the best chef in the world can't make a 5-star meal if you give them crap ingredients. That's just the reality of it. So coaching can only go so far. That being said, I think they're telling you like, yeah, we're leaning on this guy to get more out of less, and he's a guy that historically has been able to get more out of less. And so if that's a superpower of his, and they can rely on it, God bless them. What an incredible superpower to have. Again, freaking bold strategy, Cotton, to like gamble the life of your quarterback in that way.
That's literally.
Gosh.
I know.
Like, why do we keep going into these seasons like this?
When we came out of last season, like I felt pretty good about where they were. I felt pretty good about where
And
they were.
now it's like I feel good about the wide receiver room, and our O-line's got me and Cody blocking.
Yeah, because at one
I feel good
point,
about the tackles.
at one point
I do
last
feel good about
year,
the tackles.
Cam Ward was on pace, I think, to get sacked 77 times.
Yeah, a million times.
Yeah, and it ended up being like 50 towards the end of the season.
No, they
the
played-
line was like finding a groove.
Yeah.
And we just ripped the groove
Which is why,
apart, man.
and so when you say we're not
That
bringing
groove out of here.
yeah,
Tony on the dance floor.
you're like, get the sandpaper, get this groove out of here, Jesus.
Golly, man.
So when you say we're not bringing back Zeidler, one, I feel like we're losing a leader.
country leader.
We're just losing probably one of the better linemen that we had. Like I could take or leave Cush. I mean, I don't really know, but losing Zeidler really did. And you're saying you don't believe he's coming back, man. That I'm worried. I'm legitimately scared about
I
this
think
offensive
Titans
line.
fans should be worried about the offensive line.
Oh,
I don't
gosh.
think there's no way it works out. I think there are paths for it to work out, but I don't see a very clear, comfortable one right now.
Gosh,
Can I
goodness
ask
gracious.
as far as with the draft, free agency obviously didn't fall our way, and I think that's been on record. Borgo has said
In
it,
terms of offensive
everybody-
line.
yeah,
Yeah.
as far as offensive line, in particular that area did not fall our way. The draft, you would have said with how we had to trade up and stuff, we missed out on some prospects that we probably could have took a swing at.
Pregnon.
Due to Emmanuel Pregnon was one of them.
In the division, son of a bee.
Yeah.
He did not interview super well, which is why he.
Is that why?
Wow.
That's what I've heard.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't. Again, like that's
Okay.
the kind of thing where we can't know that.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
I thought it was
So-
because he was old.
they were trying to trade up for Tate Ratledge in the or not Tate Ratledge. Excuse
Keelan?
me,
We got-
Keelan.
yeah.
I keep getting Tate Ratledge and Keelan Rutledge mixed up. They were trying to trade up for Keelan Rutledge in the first round.
Well,
and
Stoney
Houston-
would have had to
Houston
get a
jumped
new
him.
pair of shorts.
Somebody else in the division comes to get.
We obviously got sniped for that.
God damn.
Now, do you think for our contingency plan and what we do have with the two linemen that we have is probably the highest regard in their programs as being on that offensive line? Do you think? I guess with the character traits,
Sure.
right? Are those the best prospects to be able to pull the best out of to salvage this situation that we have?
Again, long term, not a terrible play. This September,
Might be tough.
it's quick, man. It's quick for guys like that to step right in. And you hear guys talk about like developing your NFL body, and that's like a super real thing. You hear like all these tight ends. Something somebody told me last year about Gunnar Helm, somebody on the coaching staff, was not Brian, was that Gunnar was a guy they were super excited about this year, but also in year two, once he had kind of firmed up his body, because he was somebody, again, it's a weird, like, it's weird. We're talking about guys' bodies, but like the reality is you're kind of softer in college, not like physically soft, but like the wear and tear your body is conditioned to take. Like, you don't have the calluses.
That makes sense. Yeah.
And so that's something that, like, from a body composition transformation standpoint, just physiologically, you need a year to do that. And if you're going to be going through the rigors of an NFL season during that year, that's going to be a setback in some ways to like build your body up in a way that makes sense for what you want in the NFL. So that's why you hear guys talk about, like, you got to build your NFL body. And I don't know for a fact that these two linemen are like a little bit on the softer side, or they're like their performance metrics. I don't know.
Hey,
but
one of them stepped on the ankle now.
that
We need more.
he did.
He's got that dog. in him,
Little
man. He's got
nasty,
that-
little
Coogan's
nasty.
willing to kill people.
But that's the range of prospects just based on where they went in the draft that I generally think, like, yeah, that guy probably needs a year to get his NFL body under him.
Yeah.
And that, okay, you've just made me think about something.
Okay.
Something with them
good.
eyes.
So I am going to dive into my unsung heroes of free agency. And I want to hear your take on, I was going to do this after the Marcus Harris conversation, but Randy just stole it. I couldn't even ask the question, so I'm sorry.
My bad.
Randisha.
Randisha.
We're getting it over.
That's what I'm talking about, baby. Put your renditions in the chat. Don't play. So, I
Get it over. Yeah.
had to say it. So, two of the people that I think we were really excited about in the moment, but we haven't spoken about since, are Cordell Flott and Alante Taylor.
Sure.
I am a little bit nervous, and I'll tell you why. I just know how free agency typically works, where if you sign two guys at one position, especially when they're both decently paid, one's going to be decent and one may not, whether they just fall.
Sure. Just playing the odds.
What is a reasonable expectation for how good they can be? Because I don't think either one of them are shut down corners, but is that a top half of the league secondary with them as your starting corners?
Reasonable expectation is that the two of them are average or better NFL starting caliber outside cornerbacks. Like, you're paying for that. Getting that is a very reasonable expectation. You overpaid for both of them in the way that you overpay for every free agent, but I don't think you overpaid in the way that some people are like, I can't believe they paid that for a guy that you're not sure he can even be an average guy. Like, these guys can absolutely be average to above average starting outside cornerbacks in the league, and the Titans need them to be because the depth in that room is bad.
From a talent perspective, would you say that they are better than who's the guy from the Bengals we got 2 years ago who always was hurt? Why is that even me? I've been trying to think about this whole time I'm sitting here.
Awuzie.
From a talent perspective, assuming everybody's healthy, are both or one of them on the same level or better than Awuzie?
Oh, please say yes.
He's a better player than both. They are a better player than that guy.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just truly don't,
Especially at that stage of his career.
people
but yeah.
love Delonte Taylor. To me, I think Flott's the better cornerback than Delonte, outside cornerback than Delonte Taylor.
I think he definitely can be, and he's younger, and so, yeah, definitely.
So I think people are. I get worried because I am a fan that I'm overhyping the potential of that group. But you saying that they could at least be NFL average or better.
They both could be well above average. I mean, like, the two of them last year played football that led to them getting the money that they just got. Like they are capable of playing really good football and being above average starters all day.
So with that, the culmination of our defense is ranked what at the end of next year?
Ooh.
Like out of 32?
Out of 32.
And
we're gonna stick you to it too.
based on like EPA, based on yards, like just any metric.
Just to say
generally,
yards allowed.
If you're doing an exercise where you're ranking defenses,
yes.
I'll predict, like if I'm being because I think they like the ceiling. Let's go ceiling and then a prediction.
It's top 5. Go ahead and say it.
I think ceiling for this group is just inside the top 10. I still think like the fact that they're lacking that true speed rusher. There's a hole there. The fact that I'm still not sure what the deal is at linebacker. Not that they don't have like how quick does Anthony Hill come along? Does Cedric Gray take another step? Like those are question marks we have for sure. And then the cornerback depth is tough because like if you lose anybody, but if everything goes to plan, if Anthony Hill steps in and the Titans front is as ferocious as we think it can be, and they don't really even need that speed rusher. If the cornerbacks stay healthy, they can definitely be a top 10 defense. I will predict that at the end of the year, we think they're a top 15 defense. Like,
I'm taking it, baby.
like average.
Yeah.
It's like 7 wins.
Middle of the road or a little bit above middle of the road, for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, because Cody Barton's going to lead us there.
That's right. To the promised land. To the promised land.
And he's on the team at
That boy can get too much disrespect lately, by the way.
Thank you. That's what I'm... Cody!
Why'd you look at Randy?
I don't know. I felt like it would bounce off for my Marvel rival fans, Cloak and Dagger. I aim this way, it's going to go that way.
Not that he's some awesome player.
Thank you.
He's not. But he's better than people. Like, people have been treating him like
He's perfectly average.
garbage. Yeah, no.
Man.
He's a guy you want to upgrade for sure. You want to upgrade, and he had a rough year last year based on what we thought he could be. But he's not an unplayable player. He's
like
not.
Randy on the podcast. He's there. He's fine.
That's right. You'd love to upgrade.
Yeah, we'd love to upgrade if we have the
They
opportunity.
can't upgrade.
Does Anthony Hill make Barton more expendable in your opinion?
Like cuttable?
Like
Tradable.
that tradable?
You're not trading Barton for
You don't think you
anything.
get anything for him?
No.
Shit.
I mean, nothing that they'd want to take the trade for.
Okay.
Because he's under contract and he's like, you'd love to have him as your third guy. You'd love to.
Yeah.
So I think that they will love to have that when that's the case.
Just better off having him on the team.
Based on what I think you'd get for him in a trade. I mean, maybe somebody loves him. I don't know. But he's not making a ton of money in the first place, which tells you like what the free agency market valued him just a year ago. And now he's coming off of a tougher year. So I don't know what the trade market would. I don't know what the translation is there, but I don't think it's very profitable. But like benchable for sure. Sure.
You think it's gonna be easy? I mean, not easy, but Anthony Hill's gonna have a really good chance of winning that job.
I think by the trade deadline he'll be the starter. I don't know if it'll be like a day one thing, but I think by the trade deadline he'll be playing more snaps than Cody Barton for sure.
I think Cody Barton's earned the opportunity to be played out of that spot. Like he genuinely should have a longer leash than just a few bad preseason games or maybe he plays half a quarter in. Like I think he's earned, a couple regular season games. We'll see how it goes. And Anthony really needs to look like the guy in order for that to happen.
I think that he's the kind of guy where you don't feel like you're rushing to get Anthony along. Like you don't have to put Anthony in there until you feel real good about him being good and ready.
Yeah.
Tony Pollard of the defense.
Which is
Don't do that. Don't do that.
huh?
He said the Tony Pollard of the defense. I'm not gonna. They're not on the same level.
What's that even mean?
long,
Tony Pollard?
just long in the tooth.
And Tony Pollard is better than perfectly average. I know you may
He's a
not feel
Honda
that
Civic.
way.
No, I think that he is.
Honda Accord. What is it? Honda Accord.
No, he's not, dude. He is a brand new Hyundai Palisade.
It's just like
this is what we
Cody
do on
Barton
this
is
show.
like
A lot of
he's like
slander
the
on
old
Tony
school
Pollard.
Bronco, the O.J. Simpson
yeah,
drone.
That's crazy that we hate Tony Pollard on this show.
I don't get it, man. They're talking about Nick Singleton supplanting him. Like, what are we talking about
this
here?
year, not
Cocaine and Cocaine Cody. Just here, man. Can't believe
Don't
it.
take me back to my college days.
Oh, God.
Hey, that's crazy.
Fully exposed.
So, I got a quick question. So, back to the defense. I know we kind of exploring your brain a little bit all over the place, man. So, pause. Yeah, pause it up. That's kind of crazy. My bad. My bad, Easton.
It's all right.
Exploring your brain.
It's a real professional situation going on around here. Got a pro shop.
So we're never gonna get credentials based on how you opened it up. Like, take your job serious, man.
Hey, who was it? PK the other day? He asked something super crazy to where.
When he said, "What do we do to
Tate
this?"
was like,
when you move your body like that, when you contort your
you
body.
contort your body.
Contortionist.
Yeah, like, all right.
Okay, so
What's funny, guys?
hey,
Go ahead, my bad.
So my question is about Kevin Winston Jr. You know,
Sure.
we just talked about with the big nickel role and how that may be played. I mean, when he played that last year with Denard and when he had little sprinkles of that, he was playing lights out.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to Saleh in this defense, do you have a certain place to where you feel like he fits perfectly?
No, that's a good question. I don't know, because I do think that he's at this point in his career probably better played as the big nickel guy in the box safety, but I don't think that's the extent of his potential. I think that he is somebody that you can eventually get to a place where he's a above average, really useful guy that's playing too high, playing single high. Like, I'm not sure he's ever going to be like your single high quarterback, hawk eye in the sky guy.
That's what I was curious.
As a too high true safety, I think that that's where he's headed.
So
probably in this system.
So do you think the battle will probably be between Harris and Winston to see who plays that big nickel role, or like, because I'm
if
just
if they're playing big nickel, I think it'll be Kevin. It's just like what is their base package going to be, and then how often are they going to be in base is really the question there. Because if their base is a too high, Kevin's got to be one of them. I don't know if y'all have seen the safety depth chart recently, but like he's one of the dude. He's one of them. And we heard Gus Bradley talk today about Kevin and how he's coming along. And he's a guy that you got to feed him more and more, and he wants to continue to absorb information, and he can handle it. And so that's the kind of guy that I think he's going to be. But when how often are they in sub, and what is it going to be two safeties on the field for those packages? I don't know. Right, there's a lot of schematic things we still need to see this summer for sure.
It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, I like Winston a lot. I actually am excited to see. I know this is so stupid. I like Tony Adams.
Okay.
I think that he is like.
Who do you hate on this team?
Nobody.
There's a few people that I don't like, man.
Okay.
I'm not.
You're gonna leave them unnamed.
No, I'm gonna name them.
All right.
I have fallen out of the J.C. Latham train.
Oh, you're crazy.
Yep, I'm saying it right now.
I haven't even done that.
I'm saying it right now. I don't
Why?
think that he's going to be a bad player, but I don't think he's ever going to be anything but average. I think his up and downs are going to continue, and I think that his up and downs will be. He has 4 or 5.
Is that some big travesty though to have an average NFL tackle?
At his draft pick, I think so.
Yeah.
It's kind of sunk cost at this point. To me, tackle's a floor position. And so if you have average or better tackle play, I don't care how good they are, if I'm being super honest. Like, that's cornerbacks the same way, for the record. Like, I love an elite corner and I love an elite tackle, obviously. But I care way, way more about are they average or better. Like, if you gave me the option between a cornerback room with, like, one top 3 lockdown unbelievable corner or a room with 3 starters who are, like, 10% above the Mendoza line of average, I'd take the average guys. I'm the same way with tackle. Like, if you gave me the option between one elite tackle and one question mark on the other side, or 2 dead average tackles, give me the average tackles. Yeah.
I like my tackles like I
Interesting.
like my women. I need them to be well above. My woman, baby, I love you. I said multiple, I meant singular. That's my bad, baby.
There were a couple of different directions you could have gone with that. I'm not sure where you were going to go.
I don't know why I went that direction, but yeah, that's the only guy I hate. But yeah, I don't know why. I just feel like Tony Adams is going to play a bigger role than what we think, because I think
this
we'll
rate
be
he has to, because there's nobody else on the freaking team.
I think we'll be in big nickel more than we have been in recent years.
Okay.
So I think he's going to be on the field a lot. And if he gives me comparable play to what Xavier Woods gave me last year, I'm a happy camper.
I think that's fine. I'm over here yawning because I don't know if you guys realize how freaking tired I am.
Well, how are your eyes feeling?
You
Having
was
strain.
up early. You did the install.
Yeah,
Well, I was about to say it's honestly just like the bank of sleep deprivation from the past month of it just like catches up, and then the Titans decided to have their rookie minicamp the second after the draft's over.
And according to PK, you
which
watched
is
practice
super cool.
from 10 yards
Well,
over.
and that part's my eyes are
They're strained a little bit?
They are strained. That's right. I need some blue light glasses to finish my day. Thanks, Titans. What was the question? I mean, where were we at
It was
here?
really
JC, oh yeah, Tony Adams and JC Latham, right? I mean, like, whoever is in that third safety role, it's going to be a big impact on this team for obvious reasons. Right now, it is Tony Adams because there's freaking nobody else. So I think they still, like, not that, no Tony Adams disrespect for me, but, like, they need to add bodies in that room.
Yep.
I'd love if they found somebody to supplant Tony Adams.
Solid UDFA safety. There's a couple of them that are
For sure, I don't see that guy this year. I think that maybe is like a next year player acquisition thing. Now, there also are always some veteran safeties that wait to sign until July and August every year. Like, you know, Quandre Diggs joined this team twice in August, I think.
Right,
2 different times. So that may be the road they go if they don't. But, like, I need to see Tony. Like, I want to see more from Tony in camp, during mini camp coming up. Like, what does it look like? Because I don't think that he's some bum that, like, needs to get off the team, but I don't have a whole lot of reason to be super optimistic about what he's going to provide yet.
I'm not gonna lie, Easton. You're very kind in how you respond to things. You're very polished. But Lim is nuts for this.
We need you, idiot. The people need his Tony Adams takes. Who's going to give people Tony Adams takes if Easton doesn't? Nobody's talking about the man. I said I was going into unsung heroes, and he could be a Higglytown hero for us this year.
Fair enough.
Higglytown hero, grave and true.
I kind of want to know about more people that you hate.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, well, if you want to do this, we're going to get into it
start
right
naming
now. Okay, we're going to name them.
Cam Ward.
Oh, that would be crazy. I personally am not a Tajay Spears fan anymore. I'm tired of clinging to people where hope is the best thing that we view about them. And we just hope that he's healthy. We hope that he's still explosive. I'm tired of hoping. I need it here right in front of me.
Pause.
Whoa. Lord.
Okay.
You need to calm
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this one time. Titans PR. If you're ever considering, and I start writing, let's say I become a Big J journalist,
Capital J journalist.
I want to have some credentials and be in the room and be silent. Don't ever consider these two bastards. Okay, don't ever consider.
Fair enough.
But I'm tired of it. Okay, real talk though. I'm gonna flip you back over to the offensive side. Don't say nothing. To the offensive side. This offense, as currently constructed, take Cordell Bolson out, put in average play at right guard. Okay,
Create a player that doesn't exist.
At least give me that.
75 overall.
At least give me that. This offense is going to be what number this coming year? And you got to tattoo it on your arm.
Give us a rank. Where we at, Easton? What do you think?
I think that they will be the.
Don't put a 2 in front of it. You're about to. Don't put a 2 in front of it.
No, I think that they're going to be the 17th best offense.
I'll take it, man. That's about 22 points a game.
Slightly below average.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be the 17th best offense.
Yeah, because Cam Ward's a top 10 quarterback.
Inconsistent as all get out. But some unbelievable flashes and some games where they look a lot different. Yeah.
Do you think Dayball will be here after this upcoming season?
I think that he'll be more than one. I think that it'll be probably after the second week. We got to see who comes open because we just saw 10 spots get filled and there's only so much turnover to go around when a third of the league gets flipped on its head. So like if there's only 3 or 4 spots open, then it's going to be competitive. For him to be the guy that's chosen for one of those 3 or 4 spots or however many it is the guy that runs the slightly below average league offense going to be that guy? Like I think it's going to take, if this offense goes thermonuclear this year, then, all bets are off. Of course, he could be plucked away by literally anybody. But I'm really basing how quickly I think he's going to leave on how quickly do I think this offense is going to be good. That's what people care about outside the Titans.
Yeah. So top 15 defense. top 17, if that's what you want to call it.
Let's say like
We just won 9
13th
games.
the 13th best defense and the 17th best offense.
We won 9 games
that's
according
7
to
games.
Easton Freeze. That's what that is right there.
I was gonna say that smell like a playoff berth.
8 or 9.
No, no.
I got a quick little question. I know you wrote about this today.
Sure.
Will Levis.
Uh-huh.
I think everybody on this podcast and probably 95% of the Titans fan base was expecting him to get traded.
Sure. So was I until 2 weeks ago.
It doesn't seem like it's going to happen anymore, according to what I read literally an hour ago.
Mm-hmm.
So what is his role going to look like, you think, this year? Is it just put your head down, get to work, or...
Yeah, I think that he's going to be a...
Is he the backup?
He's a tight.
I mean, what I knew about the situation kind of flipped on its head 2 weeks ago, and that's why before the draft I was kind of saying, like, I don't think he's going to be traded anymore, which is not what I was saying before. I think that the stance from both the Titans side and the Levis camp has softened with the new coaching staff and the opportunity for him to work under Dable and see what's going on. I think that the fact that no team in the league is going to offer legitimate draft capital for a guy we've not seen play football in a year is another part of it. Like, I think the Titans would trade him and will trade him this August if a legitimate offer value comes across their table.
5th round or better is what
I'm like a real pick, like not a swap,
Yeah.
like a
Got
fifth,
it.
a full blown 5th round pick kind of thing.
Makes sense.
Is what or better is what I think they're looking for. I don't think they're considering anything less than that in terms of value. So that's, I think, going to require him to like show out in some preseason games and do some football things again, so people can be like, "Oh, look, he still does the football thing well." I think he could be the backup going into the year, which is not a thing that I thought
Over
before.
Mitchell?
Interesting.
Mitchell Trubisky?
I know, old Mitch kissing titties. I don't know if
I have never heard that.
you never saw that. Oh man, that's his words, not mine. You go look up his Twitter in like
Freaky Mitch.
2013 or something.
My boy. That's my boy, Big Trues.
That's his thing. His words.
That would be interesting though.
They paid him like the backup. So like I would be surprised if Levis became like. He's making me wonder if they're going to keep 3 guys, which I don't ever really understand. But teams have done it before, and so maybe. I don't know. Maybe. I really need to go look at, like, did Dable teams carry 3 quarterbacks? I've honestly not looked at that.
I mean,
I'm trying to think
back.
back.
That year he had
don't think so.
Dart, he had Wilson, he had Russ. I mean, no, he had
Russ is Wilson,
Dart.
right?
That's what I was thinking in my head.
No, I mean, did he had Jameis Winston?
Winston, not
And
Wilson.
then he had Russell
Winston
Russell
and
Wilson.
Russ. And yeah, you're right. Like last year, they had Dart, and
In the DeVito years,
maybe
I think
it's
DeVito
3.
started off as the 3rd quarterback, and then injuries happened, and he ended up being the, if I'm not mistaken.
That's
Maybe they keep
2
3.
years ago. Yeah,
Maybe
3
they
years ago?
keep
Yeah.
3. Hey, Brian,
See ya, Hooker.
text me back, Brian, and tell me if you're going to keep 3 or not. I don't have his number. I've never spoken to him, but I'll sound cool for 10 seconds. Okay. This is interesting. I think that Easton Freeze has done a few things on this podcast that I need to make sure I carefully identify.
Okay.
One, he has named us as a top 15 defense, top 17 defense.
Offense.
Which is a fun way of saying 17. Yeah. Top 17. That could be anywhere in there.
That's the best way to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it could be 1 in
Right.
your head. You never know.
Theoretically, yes.
There's a possibility.
If all the other teams died.
Yeah. And you lock this in to 8 to 9 wins. Do you genuinely feel that?
You said 8 to 9 wins. You put those words in my mouth. I didn't say that. No, you said that.
I heard that. Okay.
No.
So, like, what do you...
Let's put it this way.
what
Right
does
now,
your
their
gut tell you?
Vegas win total is 6.5. I'm comfortably
That's pretty
taking,
good.
I'm
I mean,
comfortably
considering-
taking the over.
I think
Not bad.
But
Not
I think
bad.
it will be a game or 2. 7 or 8 is what I think that they will do this year.
7 or 8? I can respect
Because
But I
think
also need to see a lot of off-season camp to change
Yeah.
my mind on that. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I think last year we went into the season, it was 4.5.
It was, and they went comfortably under.
They went under. I took the under. Appreciate you, Brian.
I can't believe that. Okay. Well, look, we have pestered
Appreciate
Easton
you,
long
Mike.
enough.
Mike McCoy.
Hey,
No, I'm kidding.
I
No.
love old Mike.
The two of them did more than their fair share in that situation.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they did a whole lot. We've pestered Easton enough. This is right about the time you say you got another question. You got another question? So can I close it this time?
Of course I do. I do got another question.
Go ahead.
Let's hear it. Let's
Go
hear it.
ahead. Go ahead.
Let's hear it, Rendisha.
Oh gosh.
Randy should.
That's crazy. Since y'all wanted me to and y'all trolled me on this, we're gonna ask Easton his favorite food spots here this season.
Oh my
I think that's a great
It's a bad question for me. It's a bad question for me. I am not a foodie, and I'm the
It's
worst.
just to troll them.
No. Here's the thing, though, and I appreciate that it's trolling them, so I'll take up some time. I am the worst because I'm born and raised Nashville local, very rare to find. I'm also the worst kind of local because I spent very little time in the actual city until I got older. I was in the Franklin Brentwood area, and,
Rich, yes.
and like up,
The theme continues.
and I'd be like south of the city a lot in like the Lipscomb Academy area and the Belmont area and the Lipscomb area, but I never like was downtown or like around town in the Gulcher and East, like eating at fancy spots. There were plenty of fancy spots down there, so I don't really have like people come and they're like, where should I go to eat? Where should I go to drink in town? And I'm like, I don't know, like Ruby Tuesdays. Like I don't.
Ruby Tuesdays is
That is
underrated.
horrible.
I should tell people to go there. I'm exaggerating.
The one that's left.
Ruby Tuesday. There's one more still, guys. There's a Golden Corral you got to check out. No.
And then go to Kmart afterwards.
Yeah, exactly. So like I always panic. I don't know where to tell people to go. I don't have good like answers.
Let
to
me
that
ask
question.
you. I'm gonna throw two out.
All
Have
right.
you ever tried Germantown Pub or have you ever tried Slim and Husky's Pizza?
Slim and Huskies for sure.
Okay.
And I like Slim and Huskies. Germantown Pub I have heard about, but I have not been to. So
They got some great
is
catfish
worth going to?
nuggets.
I've heard they got some
All
good
right.
wings.
They got
All right.
some wings, the trifecta.
And I also like I've been to a lot of really cool places, and then I promptly forget what they are. It's like I go once and I'm like, that was delicious, and then people ask me like, what's the name of that place? I'm like, man, I don't remember. Let me call my wife and be like, remember when we went for Mother's Day? Where did we? Yeah, she would know, not me. I don't
So
know.
much information. Just
I don't
much
retain
football
retain
stuff.
those
Yeah.
important things. Yeah, I retain the unimportant football stuff, I guess.
For sure. Last question for you.
I knew it.
What's the North Star for you, man? I know you've been like hitting the ground running and doing your thing here,
Sure.
covering the team. But as a journalist, and the more and more that you're exposed to, and the more that you learn, you have great peers around you. What's the North Star for you?
Like, what makes me want to do it?
What's your goal?
Well, what's
Or
your
what's
end
my
goal?
goal?
Like, what's your end goal with this?
Yeah, that's a great one. I feel like I had a lot firmer of an answer to that before I got into the industry than I do now, because it's really easy to be like pie in the sky, like this is exactly what I want to do, and then you get into it and you're like, some of this stuff I hate more than I thought I'd hate, and some of it I like a lot more than I thought that I'd like. I think I would love to be. I'm trying to think of like a person that's an example, because it's easy to just be like, I want to talk for a living and make a bunch of money. I don't ever see myself being like a big radio host. I definitely could be on radio.
Yeah.
And so if anyone in radio wants to hire me, let me know. But if anyone wants to hire me, let me know. Not that I love it A to Z, for the record. I just like more money.
No, Austin, you heard that, man. Don't backtrack now, baby. Austin, once you fire him,
If you
Once you fire him, I'm
want to
available.
hire me, just let me know. I probably won't sign with you, but I'd like to know it. I'd like to know it. So, but like, I could see myself working on TV. I could see myself doing honestly, the most likely outcome that I'd be like really pleased with is to get to do regional or national podcasting / internet show works. Like the people that are my best friends in the industry who I like love to do what they're doing are the guys that work at the Ringer. Like the guys that do the Ringer NFL show, the guys that do the Ringer fantasy football show. If anyone knows like Danny Kelly and Danny Heifetz and Craig Horlbeck, like those guys are my boys, and I'd love to do what they get to do one day. I'd love to write for a national publication like that as well. Like I love the vibe of the Ringer. I'd love to work at the Ringer. I'd also love to, be somebody like the guys over at the Athletic Football Show, kind of a similar deal, but a little bit more serious, a little more buttoned up. Obviously, New York Times, all of that, but like that kind of range of getting to do national stuff, go do cool things, meet cool people, have an important voice, but not necessarily be the the guy in the suit on Get Up at 5 a.m. Not that I wouldn't love doing that, but I am somebody that loves it here, and it would probably take a lot for me to move away from Nashville and move my family. Obviously, everybody has a price, and opportunity is what it is. And if I got an opportunity that was unbelievable, I mean, if they told me to come get on, get up, I'd probably come get on, get up. But that's probably what I'll end up doing if all continues to go well.
For sure.
Well, with that being said, since you're here, I'm going to make an on-air pitch to you. Like, we could pay, I don't know, like 75 cents an hour. You could just come be our first. No, I'm playing. But
Yeah, man. Yeah. Reach out to my people. They'll
People will get in touch with you.
yeah, they'll get with you. But, man, I do want to say this to close this out, man. I hope that you don't underestimate the impact that you have on us fans. We are.
This is where I get uncomfortable again.
Yeah. And let me look into your eyes too. I just hope that you understand. Can I fight for my credentials? Can I fight for my credentials? I'm trying to get credentials. Titans PR. I'm being nice to somebody who's in the room, man.
That's good advice.
No, but seriously though, man. Like, I hope you understand that your impact to the community. We don't have many guys that we can listen to and not have our ears bleed. Like, it's just the reality of it. Like, there are people who just talk way too much. I'm not gonna say no names, but TT, I'll just say that. And then there's other people who, are like have to be so buttoned up that we don't feel like we get raw, real analysis. And you go the extra mile. Again, your midday shows, again, with that cool beat. I just love that you come in and just give us analysis of what's happening. You give us outside takes that we may not be thinking about. You go deep dive. You talk about some sourced information, just raw opinion, whatever it is. We need that in the space. So please don't go anywhere.
Okay.
All right. The ringer, don't hire him. Come on now.
Sucks. Don't hire this guy. Yeah.
But I just hope that you feel that and you understand that. And when you go home and you hug your wife, hug her a little harder because you've got the whole fan base hugging you because we need you here.
Yeah, that's the nicest thing ever.
I'm talking like you're about to jump off the bridge or something. We need you here.
Please don't go anywhere. Please.
Don't do it, man. Don't do it. But the only thing I ask, as the former thespian and also musician, can you just sing Pressman Coverage for me? That's all I ask. I buttered you up just for this. I buttered you up. We got Buck to do a hard count. We got to get you to just sing Pressman Coverage for us. That's right.
You got Buck Rising.
We got him to do a hard count. We're going to clip it up. I promise you, look.
AJ.
I asked him at the end of the episode, you look like Andrew Luck. Can you get us to do a hard count?
That's crazy.
And he did it.
That's
I'm gonna
crazy.
clip it up. We're gonna put it out.
Oh no!
This is gonna be the new. This is gonna be the new open to our show if you nail this.
This is like asking, you're a comedian? Tell me a joke. Like, oh, you do magic? Do a trick.
This is your American Idol. They used to say I look like Randy Jackson in high school. So here I am. It's time.
I don't even know what would the jingle be? How does it go? You have an idea in your head?
I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you.
Let's do it, Lil.
Pressman Coverage.
I think we should do it together. That was pretty good. You ready?
Okay, we'll go together. Ready? Pressman Coverage. Man, thank you guys so much. Easton Freeze, thank you for being here. PMC, we out.
Hey, round of applause for Easton, man. Thank you, man. Hey, that was great, man.
That was awesome, guys.